The latest on my end is I got out of prison last Thursday on a emergency furlough. Prison being Danbury, which is a federal prison in Danbury, Connecticut. I served 45 days in prison of a 6-month sentence, so I'm going to be here in my house serving the rest of my sentence until April 25th. I believe I should not be serving one day. I think this is a complete corporate maneuver to try to silence me and others who have gone after Chevron for committing a terrible human rights crime in Ecuador that's killing people, indigenous peoples and others as we speak, as Lucy just attested to. But nevertheless, I'm happy to be home with my family. Obviously, it's far better than being in prison. I do feel and the pain of my brothers left behind in Danbury. I met some incredible people. The place is teeming with humanity and with impulses that are positive, despite what is really an environment that's intended really to brutalize human beings and keep them quiet and keep them warehoused. So I feel the people I've left behind, the Patel brothers, D-Block, Fats, Rail, Rabbi, Ruben, Tommy, Neff. I met some incredible people. And even though I was literally the only person convicted of a misdemeanor in the entire prison, 900 people, I was protected, welcomed, loved by so many people. And, it was just an extraordinary experience, challenging on so many levels. As a relatively privileged American, I got a taste of the other side of the fence. I don't want to go back. I didn't like it, but there were parts of it I loved. It's sort of hard to explain. I'm here now again in my home. There's 2 ways, by the way, my home detention can end. One is the Court of Appeals in New York has the right to overturn this conviction. I hope they do. I think this is a case that is illegitimate for many reasons, one of which is I was not prosecuted by the U.S. government. The U.S. government refused to prosecute me. I was prosecuted by a private law firm that had Chevron as a client, a flagrant conflict of interest. As many problems as the United States justice system has, I've never seen a private corporate prosecution before my case. We can't let it get that far. We can't let that happen again. So, the court needs to act as soon as possible. I should not be confined to my home for a day longer. By the way, I've already been confined to my home for 813 days prior to trial on a misdemeanor, unprecedented in U.S. history. There's never been anyone who spent even one day confined prior to trial. So this is a complete corporate attack on me by Chevron and 2 judges who, in my opinion, were doing Chevron's bidding and abusing their power in doing so. So if the Court of Appeals reverses, I'm out. It's over. We win. And also I'll point out the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention in September issued an extraordinarily important decision calling on the U.S. government to release me immediately and to pay me compensation for the arbitrary deprivation of my liberty as retaliation for my human rights work on behalf of the people of Ecuador. So, I'm in a state that I've never honestly felt before. I fought my whole life as a lawyer for people, for human rights. Tried to do it quietly, get results for individual clients. And this thing just blew up to a point where I've become this symbol of something much larger, and it's dangerous, which is, again, attempts by the United States government, the judiciary, and corporations to silence those who do the critically important frontline environmental justice work to save the planet, to help people, to help indigenous peoples. And it's a playbook. It's a new playbook. They executed it against me, moderately successfully. I mean, I am out. They wanted me to be in longer, but they did achieve some degree of success, and we have to really notice it, pay attention, put a pin in it, and make sure we do the things to prevent it from happening again to anybody else.